welcome to a special edition of the Christy Taylor Show. And yes, we are super excited to be here on today, giving you an opportunity to get up close and personal with a legendary vocalist. Oh my God, I can't even begin to express how excited I am to have him on the show. I've interviewed you, I've had the pleasure and the honor of interviewing you quite a few times when I was in traditional radio, also when
Absolutely.
when I started the Christy Taylor Show here during the 2020, you graced the platform, and here you are again. And you've got more to tell us. You have so much going on. But first of all, I want them to make sure that they have a good view of you. Just kind of tilt your laptop, just your camera down. Oh, there we go. Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Is that better? Okay.
Yes, sir. Because I'm trying to see all those plaques in the back.
Well, and there's some specials back there we'll talk about later.
Ooh, I'm super excited about that. Well, welcome everybody to this special edition of the Christy Taylor Show. We are streaming live, so that means you have an opportunity to even jump into the conversation, drop a comment. We're looking forward to that. Well, first of all, Larry Dodson, aka Larry D, aka Uncle Larry.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
You've been doing this a long time.
I actually have. I've had the pleasure of being the lead singer of the Barcades for almost 5 decades, 30 albums, 20 top 10 singles, 10 or 15 top 10 albums, gold and platinum, and just an incredible career. And for those people who may not know, I actually tried to retire in 2019, but that was a bad idea. And it only lasted about a year and a half. And wasn't anything wrong with me when I stopped. It's just that I've been married to a wonderful woman for now 52 years. So we just decided that we were just going to stop and retire and just lovey-dovey all around the world. But I missed it so much, and I got so much good feedback from people who missed me, from the industry. And I just said, well, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to bother this kid that I took 7 months to take my place. Yes. I talked to my son, Larry Jr. I said, let's start another label. And I'll do another album, and that's what we did. He and I run the label together, just like we do our booking agency with La Marie's Entertainment. And I got extremely lucky for my first single, which is entitled "I'm Good." I got top 30 on Billboard. Yes. My new single, "Just We," is doing well, and now the album is going to release tomorrow.
That's what we're here. That is what we're here to talk about. As a matter of fact, shout out to everybody checking us out. Thank you, Mr. Henderson. I know, music icon, legend here in Memphis, who's always had mad love. Now, you've had an opportunity in your 5 decades to do a lot of music, but can we run it back? Because I was listening to your interview the other week with Tina Tilton, and I did not know that you were actually in a group prior to the Barcades.
I was, in high school, or even a little bit before that, in junior high school, I started a group called the Temprees, which
I did not know that, who's also a staple here in Memphis and around the world. I never knew that.
I started that group. Yeah, I started that group, and we were just all that around Memphis, man. We didn't have any professional luck at that time, but as the Lord would have it, after I joined the Barcades in 1970, a couple of years after that, they came to Stax and started a career of their own without me, and had dedicated to the one I love, Love Maze, I'm For You. They had 4 or 5 huge records. Yeah, the Love Men, Temprees. We're still very good friends.
I love that. You're born and raised in Memphis, a true Memphis ambassador. And what can you tell us? Is it in the water? Is it in the air that so many people have come from this city who have done amazing work in music and any other industry?
You know what? Memphis has been known as the birth of the blues. There have been some R&B icons that have come here. I mean, during our tenure at Stax, when Booker T and MGs got too rich to start playing golf every day, we took over the house band. The Barcades did with Isaac Hayes, Rufus Thomas, Scarlett Thomas, Johnny Taylor, Sam and Dave, and we supplied the music. And proudly I say that through Isaac's first 5 albums, starting with Hot Buttered Soul, through Shaft, Black Moses, To Be Continued, was all Barcade music.
Okay, Uncle Larry, first of all, wow. I mean, oftentimes, I miss reading the liner notes, where
Yeah,
you could really, map the careers of different, artists and singers and producers. But you're gonna make me have to find some vinyl and read those liner notes. I did not know
you
that, and
know what you.
because I've just known you. And the other thing that I learned was the fact that the
Mhm.
Bar-Kays was actually a band until you became their lead singer.
That's
So
exactly right. Yep,
yeah,
they were an instrumental group, which it was quite popular back in those days, in the '60s for Willie Mitchell's band and all the other big bands around the country. But the Bar-Kays, while in high school, had their first record, Soul Finger, which was a million seller and a #1 record not only in Memphis but around the world.
so world travel. Let's talk about that. Of course, I know you and your wife did it, but way back in the day, you were 19, 20, 20, early 20s.
19 years old.
Wow. Tell me those experiences that still kind of colors your view of the world.
Well, you know what? I talk about this in my book a lot. The book is
Yes.
called "And the Band Plays On." It's my life story, and the book starts prior to me even joining the Bar-Kays and talks about my history with the Temperies and high school and all the other things in my life. But Memphis has been just a great college for me. Being at Stax was what I call my high school, and then when we signed the deal with Mercury Polygram, which was a multi-million-dollar deal, that was
Yes.
high school for us. We gave them a lot of good music. All the gold and platinum albums we got over at Mercury Polygram Records. But our tenure at Stax, we gave them 5 albums over there. So out of the
Wow.
30 that we've done, yeah.
It's just mind-boggling to know you personally and to be, I'm having a fangirl moment here because it's like,
Listen at you.
because I understand in the scope of the entertainment industry what you're speaking of, and yet every single time I meet you, you're so approachable and so humble, and you're such a warm-spirited person that it can get lost. Your legacy and your, status in the world can get lost. How do you keep the balance? Because I love the fact you drop your names and you promote yourself. You let people know this is who I am. This is what I've done, but you keep the balance. How have you done that, Uncle Larry?
I think being married and being married in the right spirit of marriage. A lot of my DNA. I first of all, I love the Lord, and my wife and my family. They keep me balanced. For those of you who may not know, my firstborn, Precious, was born Down syndrome.
Right.
So that was early on. I was 19. She's the first child we had,
Mhm.
and Christy, if you can, we didn't know anything about Down syndrome. Not one thing. We didn't know what it was, except the doctor said
Mhm.
you don't get too attached because she's not going to get past her teens.
Wow.
So I've had a spiritual bond with the Lord, understanding what was this about. But as I got older, I've always had to just share. Well, no, I had to step out of the spotlight and take care of my daughter, and it's kept me grounded. It's kept me involved in mentally challenged kids and grown-ups. And my wife and I, my son, we've shared a great deal of our life, understanding that and it does something to you, Christy.
Yeah.
It balances you because that playing field is level. It ain't no race, or it's no
For you to
nothing
come,
of that.
yes.
Everybody's got the same problem,
Mm-hmm.
and that has helped me. And it ain't. We've been bad boys. Barkay's been bad boys.
I was about to say, in the midst of
Nobody would know that side of me, but because all they know is what they see on stage when the bad guys, freaky guys, and doing all these wild antics and having an incredible stage show that was always unpredictable, and people
I
didn't want to
remember
be
seeing
colored.
some iconic photography when you all were overseas, and so many of the performers from Stax was on that stage. And when I tell you all the antics and just the flamboyancy of you all's attire, who came up with your costume design? I mean, who was responsible for the look and feel of the Bar-Kays?
Totally Alan Jones, bless his heart, rest his
Mm,
soul. He
mm,
was an idol maker. He was a first
mm,
class guy. He always
mm.
kept us in show business. We
Wow.
spent, I was telling my son the other day, we were looking at an old video. I said, we spent $30,000 on this outfit. It was the same people who did Elton John's outfits, and we
Oh,
had some outfits that were like human hair. We spent $80,000 on those outfits.
what?
There was just no with Allen. It was like no
No
amount of
limit.
money was too much to keep us
Wow.
looking like stars. He never let us gain weight.
I
He
do,
didn't allow women on the bus. He
what?
had rules for us, man.
Wow,
You
that's
know,
good.
that's
And that
exactly
lended
right.
to, do you believe that has lent to your longevity in the industry because of those early years of grooming?
No doubt about it. We didn't know anything about writing music or the components of writing songs. Alan put us in a room, Winston Harvey and myself, every morning, and we had to. It was our job to learn how to write, find out what writing songs was about. And Alan would help us at first, but it came a time when he didn't have to come in that room anymore. All he had to come in and
Wow.
do is just say, "What you got for me today?" Here's hit and run. Here's Sexomatic. Here's Freak Show on the dance floor, and on, man. It's just been a
Mm, mm.
wonderful career, with infused by tragedy.
Yes,
The
yes.
original guys,
Mhm,
the
mhm.
original guys were killed. Four of them were killed in a plane crash with Otis in his private plane. But James quickly reformed with Ben Carley. He and Ben Carley quickly reformed, and they decided to get a singer, which was something that shocked me. Nobody thought Barclay was going to ever get a singer, and asked me to join in 1970.
Wow. You know something, this is it's those type of stories that deserve all of the movie. I remember when you came to a station I was at, Soul Classics, WRVO, right
Uh
around
huh.
the time you did your book, and you're always involved in the fundraisers for the cause that you are partnered with Christian Brothers. But I remember you just kind of speaking about the balance of tragedy and how it even pushes you forward and appreciates life, and it always comes across that that's what you've done. It's like being able to take up the charge and move forward, even as what you're doing now. Like you said, you
Yeah.
retired, and yet after globe trotting with the wife, then you come back home and you're like, there's more in me.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that? Because I know your friend, as we call Uncle Charlie, y'all have had those conversations.
Absolutely. And you know what? When I decided to come out of retirement and start a solo career, which never ever really crossed my mind during the time I was with the Barcades, Charlie is a very good friend of mine, man. Charlie said,
Mhm.
he said, I'm gonna tell you, it's the same plight that I did when I left the Gap Band. He said, just it's almost like starting over. He said, even though you have a lot of history at radio, you're only good as your last record. Of course,
Right.
the history does help.
Yeah,
Knowing
the
that I've
history.
had so much good music gives me an edge. It does, but I got to be right. And I'm
Yeah.
looked at under a microscope because they can find any reason not to play. You're too old, you're too this. But Charlie he's always, we talk not a whole lot because he's very, very busy, but
Yeah.
he and I share a real, real good relationship because he took the same flight. I took the same flight
Mhm.
that he did. And Lionel Richie and Jeffrey Osborne. All these
Yes.
guys were band guys,
Yeah.
who stepped
Mhm.
out to take a solo careers. Some have done better than others. But I'm
Right.
okay. I'm
I
all
think
right.
you're doing pretty good because that first single. Let's talk about that.
I fell in love with it as soon as I heard the lyric. It was produced and co-written by Wiley Morris, who is Charlie's producer.
Sure
And
is.
Charlie kind of turned me on to the guy, along with my road manager, Randy Hodges, who was a good friend with Wiley. We got to talking, and man, Wiley ended up we did 6 cuts together. I co-wrote 2 with him, and I also used a kid from Memphis, Black Elvis, he's called.
Yes.
He does beyond,
Super
he's done,
producer. He's a
huh?
super producer. He's a
Super
super
producer,
producer. Yeah.
absolutely. As a matter of fact, the cut that he did is called Better, You Better Be Better Than Me. Michael Cooper from Confunction is on that record with me.
Okay. I'm really gonna, say that I'm grateful that Sherry Neely, your publicist, made sure that
Yeah.
I was at, one of the many private listening parties that you've had. And there are so many tracks on this new album. And let's talk about, okay, the single has already been out. I have loved it from day one. It has a very catchy vibe to it. So you're humming it even after it stops playing. And of course, your voice is still in.
Thank
Come on,
you.
your voice is still there. But the album, let's talk about the process to go beyond the single to the album, and it's entitled "Yours Truly, Larry D." Let's talk
It's
about that.
you know what? It's exactly what it says. I instead of having the titles on the back of the album generically done, I hand wrote the titles on my notepad on my yellow sheet, each title and the time, and we screenshot it, and that is the back of my. And when I finished it on the last cut, number 12, I said, "Yours truly, Larry D." It's like a letter to my fans. So it's very intimate. It's the back of the album cover is exactly what I wrote
You
here
know,
at my desk.
this is good. So this is one of the ones that you have to buy the album so that you can get the liner notes, so that you can get the graphics. It's a keepsake. And let's talk about your process being in the studio as a solo artist, because you've been grinding for a good year.
Yeah, you know what? I
Mhm.
had to. I was at the mercy of these guys because Wiley, for instance, he was doing Keith Sweat. He was
Mhm.
doing some cuts for Silk. He was doing just a host of guys. So, and he was moving back and forth to Belize, where he's going to build his house in the studio.
Oh,
So
wow.
there were periods where every 2 months that I couldn't work with him. So I would work here in Memphis and do those cuts. And I had to wait for Black Elvis to have some time because they have busy schedules. Those guys do a lot of big artists. So I patiently waited, and then it was COVID. So uh, I was pretty smart, Christy. Instead of looking at that glass being half empty, I looked at it being half full.
Because it
I
gave you
took
a chance to really
it
master
did.
this album. Okay, can we go track by track? I mean, just to, what was the influence? Like track one, of course, is the single that's out. Um,
Actually, track one it was the first single. The track five. Let me see. Let's see.
because there was several tracks, and I was like, and I pointed to you at one time. I was like, oh, that one is ahead.
Track
Oh,
five, Just We, which I it's a duet with Jessica Ray, who's from Memphis, Tennessee. Just a really, really, really
yeah.
great kid, and I call her Nisa. She did the single with me and the video as well. And I had my wife to cameo in the video
And she
of
did
Just Me.
so
It's such a
good.
romantic song. Yeah,
Yeah,
man, it
yeah.
was very cool. We could and the same videographer who has done Grown Folks, Return of the Mac. He's done 5 videos on me because he's kind of got my number. I like
Mhm,
his work. He
mhm.
did both the videos. We shot him here in Memphis. But Just We is my new singer is doing very well. And as I
Yeah.
said, I'm good, got to the top 30. And I think that's pretty good for a guy who
That
had been
is
away
very
for
good. That
absolutely.
is very.
Billboard is very tough. It's very tough.
And okay, so let's talk about the toughness, because being a legend who's a new artist in a time that is very different from 50 years ago, where it was vinyl, it was going to the radio station and sitting with the DJs and them breaking a record, in a
Yeah.
market by market by market. And now it's all digital, it's streaming. How is that for you, Uncle Larry?
It's a double-edged sword. So having done 30 albums and also personally have produced maybe 20 other projects for different artists, I'm a producer as well. So
Mhm.
streaming has brought extra funds to us from our earlier stuff. Now, I would
Oh,
say to you, it's quite difficult
mhm,
to um, to financially win
mhm.
because it takes so much, so many, so many hits on streaming to equal a dollar.
Right.
And
Mhm,
they've taken all the fun out of the business with that. Now, also with the availability of when an album comes out now, really to be honest, Christy,
mhm.
my album comes out tomorrow. A person actually could, and I shouldn't say this, but there is a way, it ain't real
Right, that
easy,
they can
for them to get
pirate
the
it.
whole album, yeah,
Yeah, they can
and not
pirate
pay
it. Yeah.
anything. They won't
Right.
physically have it at home, but they can twist and turn and maybe try to get it, and the
Yeah.
bootleggers. So the albums and singles are really to get the appetite. Of course, it's to make money, but to get the appetite uh, for the singles is to get the buyer's appetite for the album,
Yeah.
and all of it is advertisement for concert touring, which you can make a lot of money.
Now you can make a lot of money, and I'm loving the fact that, of course, you have a family-owned business, your wife, your son Larry Jr.,
Yeah.
and you have a booking agency, that you do yourself, and you've put the tour together. Let's talk about the tour, and then we're going to get back to tomorrow's opportunity for people to hear this album and party
Mhm.
with the legend, Larry D.
So Memphis is going to be my first stop. I rearranged the tour.
Mhm.
So I took the cities that were in front of Memphis and I put them behind Memphis because I wanted
Okay.
this to be special. Just like the listening party, the release party that's going to happen Friday, tomorrow at Timeless Event Center. That's for Memphis to come out, have a drink or two, eat and drink, be merry, and listen to the album over and over again while they're there for the first time. I've had listening parties, private listening parties
Yes.
for print, press, media, and TV in Atlanta, Nashville, and two already in Memphis, all of
Yeah.
which were just excellent.
Yes, I'm
Excellent.
really
Great
grateful to
reviews.
see. Now, what are you hearing from your fans, like your diehard fans who have known you in the industry, who love Larry Dodson of the Barcades? What are they saying about this softer side of funk?
Well, you know what and I have to pat myself on the back, pat myself on the back a little bit. The album is funky, but it's terribly romantic in the same sense. I even got a Southern Soul song, which I had finished the album, and I said, you know what? I want to put a record on there. I want to write a record that's gonna be something that the Southern Soul folks are gonna gravitate to. So
Mhm.
I wasn't trying to be all things to all people, but I did want to include that. So the album is from what I'm getting from people, they love it. They love it sequenced right. They don't
Yes.
have to skip over any cuts,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I really mean that, And I've been watching over these listening parties. They love every cut, and I really really mean that. They may say they like one better than the other, but there are no cuts they don't like, and
Right.
that's incredible. I've never had an
That's
album like this. This is some of my best work. Some of
Wow,
my
that's
best
really
work.
good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Because the days of dropping an album and putting it on the vinyl or having that CD or that cassette where you just let it play on loop, to be able to have one that you can do, it will encourage people. As you say, you've heard the single, you have to get the album, which is being released tomorrow on all streaming
Tomorrow.
platforms. And that is yours truly, Larry D. Now, if you're in the Mid South region, we're not even just going to say Memphis only. We're going to say if you are in the tri state area, all roads are leading tomorrow to Winchester
Absolutely.
at
The
the
Timeless Event
Timeless
Center. It's a
Event Center.
great
That's
place.
Winchester near Kirby. Of course, that means it's a nice space, room to great acoustics. I'm just
Yeah.
setting it up for everybody, and plenty of room to dance, plenty of room to get your mingle on. What are you expecting from Memphis tomorrow?
I think they'll be pleasantly surprised, for those who haven't been keeping up per se, with what I've been doing over the last few years. I think they're going to be really surprised to see it's good work. It's really good work, well thought out.
Yes, very
Everything
good.
looks good, everything sounds good, and they're gonna be proud, because I always try to make Memphis proud. It's been my home. I'm born and raised here. I had an office to move and go other places, but I've always said I love to come home to Memphis, Tennessee.
Wow. Well, we've had a couple people checking in, Mr. Faustin Henderson, Sandra Hill Wilson, also Barbara Ingram Williams. And yes, I saw that comment, sis. I saw it. Also, China Doll, she said she was looking forward to this and she's grateful that she can have I'm going to put that back up because I want you to see this. She
All
gave us
right.
big love. Hi, Kristen Larry D. I've been busy working from home and waiting for this interview to air. It is a pleasure to have a front row seat to support a legend that my husband and I go way back with. All right,
That's
China Doll
amazing.
71. We appreciate you
That's
so very
amazing.
much. Memphis got mad love for you. Of course, we are excited for all the things that you're doing. Anything else that you can tell us? And we know tomorrow night it is the official yours truly, Larry
Release party, right, from
release
six
party
to
at Timeless
nine.
6 to 9.
I would just say, get off of work or wherever you're doing, and get there as quick as you can. The RSVP the list has been really, really good. So we expect a really good turnout. And just come out and enjoy. And I'll be just amazed to see my friends, because I personally invite a lot of my friends
Yeah.
who I've known for years, who've been following me, and for those who might maybe new fans, of Larry D, that are getting used to me being away from the Barcades. The Barcades are doing very, very well. James and I still
Oh,
own that group, and it's fine. He goes east, I go west. I
wow.
travel now as Larry D, the original lead singer of the Barcades, and I do all the hit songs that I think people really want to hear when I come.
Yeah.
I freshly mix up my new music with
Mhm.
that so I can sort of please everybody because they're not gonna let me leave that stage
Oh,
without
you
doing
can't do it. You can't
anticipation,
do it.
hit and run, and all those freak shows.
Hit
I don't
and
make that
run.
mistake. I don't make
Yes.
that mistake.
So
Yeah,
you know the do. You know how to do it. Okay,
I know
Larry. She
this.
said Larry. China Doll said Larry and I love the album. She has 5 favorite songs on the album, but overall the album is a smash. She can't wait to purchase it tomorrow. So she been to
That's
one of those
great.
parties, one of those listening parties. I tell you, there were a couple of tracks, including the one with Jessica. Just great music, just great music. So of course, I know I appreciate you giving me space
Oh
to
yeah,
talk about all that
anything
you
for
have
you,
going on. And
Christy.
I hope that we can reconvene because next month, as we prepare for the concert, I would love you if you have it in your schedule to come back again so we can talk about that amazing lineup. But I wanted to make sure we focused on your album release. Your album release tomorrow, everybody. Be sure to
Right.
prepare from 6 to 9 o'clock. The Timeless Event Center on Winchester at Kirby. And for those who didn't know, it is absolutely free.
Absolutely free. And
A free
please
one.
don't forget, June 18th, I'm coming to the Agri Center and I am bringing Mary Jane Girls, Brick, Climax, Bunny DeBar, Giabro, and Peebles. And we're going to have an amazing time June 18th. And it's Black Music Month in June. It's going to be a spectacular concert. It's called the Classic R&B and Funk Tour featuring yours truly, Larry D. Tickets are going to be rightly priced. We ain't going to be jacking you up like some of these other concerts have done.
Ooh, you're gonna respect this inflation, okay?
Absolutely
You're not gonna
right.
go up like the
That's
gas
June
prices. I
June
love it.
18th. That's
All
I know
right.
it's a lot going on, but please get your tickets now. And
Mhm.
tables are available for if you want. Yeah, there are a few tables that are available for people who want to go and say 5 couples get together and share the cost of that and get right up front and just have another kind of a VIP experience, which will include meeting personally the acts on the show,
Oh
coming
wow.
backstage. So it's gonna be great.
All right. And China Doll, I see you sending that love from ATL. All right. So that means she was in Atlanta at the listening party. I hear you.
Wow. Okay.
Okay,
All
China, she
right.
said yeah. So she's letting us know, sending her best and big love from ATL. And let me tell you, at all the events, come cute because
There you
pictures are
go.
come cute because photo ops, everybody.
And look, for
We-
those of you who don't know, you catch me on Saturday
yes.
mornings from 10 to 12. I'm on an incredible radio station, WAVN 104 FM 1240. I am Larry D from 10 o'clock till noon every Saturday. I love this show, man. And I didn't think I was going to enjoy radio like I am being of all things
I'm
I've
so
done.
glad you brought that up because he has joined the ranks of media as an amazing media personality. So he's just added, first of all, he's a legend in the music field. He's an author by his
Yeah.
book. He's a philanthropist. He's a solo artist. And yes, he is now a media personality. And of course, we know that you have been doing partnerships with liquor
Lemoyne Owen
companies.
College. Lemoyne
Oh,
Owen.
that's right. Cannot.
Yeah, the more we send at
Yes.
least between 3 and 5 kids each year we assist them in going to Lemoyne Owen College. And
Mhm.
up here, I want to tell you the little very quick about
Yes.
this. I moved one of my gold albums out of the way. Let me tell you the short story.
Go
So I
take
was
your time.
honored uh, a couple of years ago with an honorary doctorate from Lemoyne Owen College. I'm not Dr. Larry Dodson, but at that
Ooh.
same time, my wife was going back to college at Southwest. And I really asked, I said, "Are you sure, Marie, you want to do that?" So as it would turn out, she graduated from Southwest cum laude the same day I was honored with my doctorate. So she came to my ceremony that morning, and I rushed out and went to FedEx Forum to see her walk down the aisle among the first. And we came home
Oh,
with our cap and gown
wow.
on and in our living room. And I said, "Look at us, man.
Look at that.
Look
Oh,
at us."
and that's her.
That's
That's
her.
her.
That's hers right there.
And
Mine
you.
is that way. There it is,
Oh,
right there.
wow.
Isn't
This
that
is so
something?
inspiring. It's so inspiring. It's so inspiring. Thank you so much
Absolutely.
for constantly pushing the envelope. You and your wife, just showing us how it's done. Always have those dreams, always pursue them and make things happen. I just love it. Thank you. Thank you
My
for
pleasure,
sharing that.
Christy. We'll get back when somewhere near the concert date, and
Yes.
we'll talk about it and chum it up and chop it up. Okay.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to show one thing before we go.
Sure.
For the peoples. This is the album release. Yours truly, Larry D.
There
Tomorrow, 6 to 9. And you have a really cool DJ. We're talking about Cody the Grand.
There you go. Absolutely free. You ain't got no reason not to do it.
No reason.
No reason at all.
Just
no
kind of come a little cute, though. Come a little cute.
Come a little cute, because tell you want to take that picture so you can be a little cute. Yeah,
just a little cute. All right. All the love to you. Thank you so much. And
God bless
I
you,
appreciate you. All right. We have been talking on this special edition with the one, the only Larry Dodson, a.k.a. Larry D. And for those who really love him, Uncle Larry.
Uncle Larry. There you go. There you go.
Thank you so much. All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night. Timeless Event Center.